For some reason, the Edwill song theme is in my head.
Is he in there? Can you just check my friend?
I just look there. Look
You
at you guys.
And I just look at whoever talks to you.
Just tell him to raise it a bit.
Okay.
Okay.
If we'll get the injury out the way, maybe just tell us how you're doing in your recovery and how long still?
Look, I'm quite happy with the progress that I've made. I'm looking to be back as soon as possible. I think hopefully for when the URC starts. But yeah, I'm seeing the specialist tomorrow, so I'll probably have a bit more clarity tomorrow.
You waited. You said there you waited a long time to become a Springbok, etc., and then you got your chance, and then it must have been very frustrating then to get injured straight away almost.
Yeah, look, it is disappointing, but I've been disappointed a few times in my life to pick myself up, and obviously as part of a professional rugby player, you get setbacks, and I think the biggest thing is how you pick yourself back up and go again. So that's probably the most rewarding part, is that when you work hard with your physio, when you're not part of a team, it gets quite lonely, but I think the most rewarding thing is when you're back with your teammates, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Is there a prognosis of when you might get back?
There's no set date. Like I said, I have to see the specialist tomorrow, when I'll probably get a bit more clarity. But yeah, hopefully in the next few weeks.
Edwill, you mentioned that your grandfather was an All Black supporter, and I'm sure it changed when you became a Springbok. What does it feel like to grow up with an All Black supporter in the household? And your dream is to play for the Springboks.
Yeah, look, even as a youngster, obviously when I watched the Springboks versus the All Black games, I would always kind of envision myself as facing the haka. So I remember there was like a brief period where it was like a little bit in primary school, I was like kind of like an All Black supporter. But just because I wanted to be different than the rest of my classmates. But yeah, no, obviously I've supported the Springboks ever since then, and it's great for me to convert my grandpa from All Black supporter to a Springbok. And I think there's still a few in my family that haven't quite switched allegiance, but hopefully as I play more for the Springboks, they'll switch to the Springboks.
Edwill, you when you were up for the press conferences in Pretoria, you spoke about Herschel's Bakkie tour and Carl.
Yeah.
Have you had yours yet?
No, I haven't been home, but I know people are eager to see me at home, which is quite special, because I think my biggest why for playing rugby is providing hope for my community. And just from speaking to my parents with various video calls throughout weeks, and they're always, my mom's saying, they're asking when I'm coming home. So obviously I'm contracted through the Lions. I'm based in Johannesburg, so I don't get to go home that often. But I think people are excited to see me, and I'll definitely make a plan to go, because I think it's important to give back to my community that way.
Do you think, just going back to the All Black question, we see that especially in recent years, it has died down now when they come here, they get a lot of support. This also has got to do with the achievements of the Springboks and the inclusivity and the demographics that are shown in this team, and the brotherhood as well.
I think, you touched on it there. I think the reason probably people support the Springboks, number one, is they're winning games. But secondly, there's representation. There's someone in the team that looks like you, Just thinking back to my own personal Springbok heroes, Brayton Paulse. When I was little, I was obviously like, this guy looks like me. So I think representation in the Springbok team is quite important. And obviously he was a smaller winger, much like myself, but very fast, someone who's exciting to watch. So I think subconsciously I've modeled a lot of my game around him. And even if you look back to how we celebrated tries with his backflips and flick flags, I think that's something, I can't do a backflip, but I certainly celebrate after the try, which I think is something that I subconsciously got from Brayton Paulse.
Edwill, just you spoke about going back to the Lions now. There's a bunch of you now who are Springboks, you and yourself and a bunch of the other guys. How much do you think that's going to go towards just maybe giving you guys a boost in the URC in terms of confidence at that level?
Yeah, I think probably the number one thing is it will probably inspire our teammates more to know that the Bok coaches are looking at the Lions. I think for a long time that there might have been a perception of that they're not really looking at the Lions. So now from the Lions group, there's 5 guys who came through this season, which is quite special. And I think there's a big responsibility on us as players to take what we've learned at the Springboks back to the Lions and help the guys also a dream of achieving playing for the Springboks to uplift them and support them in achieving their dream.
Edwill, do last question. that first putting on the Bok jersey for the first time, just take us through the emotion of earning your first cap after such a long journey to earn it.
Yeah, well, before we get to even putting on the jersey, I mean, when I had the privilege of calling my parents and my grandma to let them know I'm selected to play for the team, all of us had a good cry over video call. So I think it's quite special. And as I mentioned before in previous interviews, it's not just my dream, it's a dream that I carry for so many people around me, for people in my community. So, when I played my first game for the Springboks, it was so special. On my wrist I had my area code, which is 7608, and it's so special for me to represent not just myself but the people of my community.
You didn't call your grandfather?
Well, I don't know where he was. Maybe he's probably still an All Black supporter then.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much, guys.
Cheers, man.
Sure.
Sorry, couldn't resist.